cloudy sky. Monday, plentiful sunshine. High 81. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch. Trust in the Weather Channel.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. I don't. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate.
Sometimes I leave the seat up on purpose.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
I was wondering if an electric toothbrush really cleans better than a manual, and my hygienist says it does. But they're not all the same. Turns out they're really different. Who knew? I had no idea. So she said look for one that's shaped like a dental tool with a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head surrounds each tooth to gently remove more plaque. And Oral-B cross-action is clinically proven to remove more plaque than Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels so clean. I'll only use an Oral-B.
The #1 brand used by dentists worldwide. Oral-B. Brush like a pro.
Dermatologists recommend Seidel for sensitive skin. It hydrates for 24 hours. Women recommend Seidel because of how it makes them feel. Healthy skin is beautiful. Seidel.
If you need anything, you let us know. We'll get the word out. And welcome back, everyone, to the Weather Channel's coverage of the epic flooding happening right now in the Houston metro area. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis in Dickinson, Texas, and the skies are just unloading on us right now, and all the neighborhoods have gone underwater here in Dickinson. It's people basically abandoning their homes and walking to higher ground, people bringing in boats, trying to walk people out. This neighborhood, the gentleman we just talked to, his name's Melvin. He lives down the street here. He said he had water come through his home this morning, but there's we believe Melvin's here with us right now. Tell us about the situation this morning, how it's playing out for you.
A friend of mine called me this morning at about 3:15, 3:30, and he lives over on Oak Street. He told me, he said, I got 2 foot of water in my house. I jumped up, ran outside. My house is on block and pad. It's about 3.5 feet off the ground. I had water at my bottom step. That was at 3:30. At 6 o'clock, when the power went off, water went through my front door.
What are you going to do?
The lady across the street, by the grace of God, is a friend of ours, and she has an Ike Coalition house, and it sits about 5-6 feet off the ground, and she's let us move into her house for now.
You've never seen it this bad, I assume.
No, I lived through the flood in '79 in Alvin, right, which is the greatest rainfall in U.S. history. Right. 48 hours. And lived through Ike, Alicia, all of them. And Ike, we barely got any water in the ditches here.
Yeah,
right?
this is amazing.
It's crazy. I mean, water was everywhere during Ike, and we didn't get anything. As a matter of fact, it stopped 75 yards behind my house. And now we're
do you have enough supplies? Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water?
Yeah.
Do you have everything you need?
Yeah, for now we do. We got food and water, and I got my grill, and I got my house across the street. I got 2 ice boxes full of deer meat, and went and got my grill off the porch and off my patio and put it up on the porch. So I got food to cook, and we got water, and we're going to make do.
You have a way to communicate if you need to? Cell phones charged up, ready to go?
Cell phones charged up, ready to go. And so we can get out of here, we push my pickup all the way back over here by the church. So when the water drops, we can get out.
All right. Melvin, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for talking to us. Best of luck to you. We know it's a tough situation.
Be careful.
Thank you very much. The situation obviously is just everywhere you look. You've got water here in Dickinson. The gentleman here with their boat, they got the prop up. So probably this is a little bit shallower here. So they're probably going to try to find some place to put the boat in, but then they can put the prop down in the water and go to the areas where they have some really deep flooding that's happening. But this is just a heartbreaking scene here in Dickinson as these folks, their homes are now submerged, and as the gentleman we're talking to there, Melvin, said, he's going to have to evacuate his home and go to a neighbor's home that sits up about 5 feet higher. So where are you guys headed to?
Oh, we just rescued a couple, and we're going to go make sure that they get out all right. And we had them taken to the fire truck and headed up to. Where's
the worst that you've been to? Is it back closer to the Bayou?
Oh yeah, well, around this area, the worst is going to be at 45 and the Dickinson Bayou.
Yeah.
Oh, there's houses that it's like up to that window over there.
Up to the window. You're serious?
The people we just rescued, they stayed in their attic last night.
Wow.
And we just got them out today.
Mike, do you know? How do you know where to go?
Just people talking to you and telling you that, hey. My aunt called, and the lady that lives next to her, and then that lady goes with us, and she shows us where it is.
You guys have everything you need?
Yeah,
All right, I'll let you go. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much. Your community is very appreciative of what's happening and what you're doing. Obviously, it's not a good situation. We know that. Now, when you've got folks that are just trying to be good citizens at this point, Stephanie, I know that this is not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, it's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better, because now we know with river flooding in particular, it's a lag effect. The worst of it happens after the rain has ended, usually.
Well, and the rain hasn't ended, Mike. I mean, we're talking at least through Thursday. We're still going to get heavy rain coming through. And, Mike, I want to talk about Allison versus Harvey, because Justin from the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, it's part of the National Weather Service, they say that Harris County Emergency Management Network has exceeded that of Tropical Storm Allison in almost half the time. So we're talking a 2 to 3 day period with Harvey versus a 5-day period with Allison. And Mike, also where you're located, you're south and east of Houston. And it was really with Allison, northeast, east, the eastern kind of half of Houston that saw the worst of it. But this is much more widespread at this time than Allison.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think there are going to be neighborhoods on every side of Houston that flood. We're a solid distance from Houston, okay? We're probably closer to, I'd say we're probably closer to Galveston than we are Houston in this neighborhood here, but anywhere that's near a creek bed or a bayou, that river is going to come bankfull, and then you're going to have the rain on top of that, so you have flash flooding and river flooding happening simultaneously, and the problem becomes it's almost a double disaster in essence. And so people that may not have flooded in previous disasters will because of this one. And now consider we probably have a solid 3 days, if not more, of rain still to come, Stephanie. I can't imagine, knowing how much water's here now, I can't imagine what this will look like a couple of days from now.
And Mike, we're right here on the Buffalo Bayou, and our water is going up to a sign on an overpass that says 13 feet 11 inches. That's how high it is. Obviously, it's going to go higher. We expect that. Where you're located, is it straight rainfall, or are you near some sort of bayou or water source?
Yeah. No, we are by the Dickinson Bayou. There's a bridge that comes over the Dickinson Bayou that gets you into, from the south side of town, gets you into Dickinson. Then you can get on 45 if you go just west, because the town sits just to the east of I-45. So there are ways to access here, but it sits right on Dickinson Bayou, which is out of its banks right now, and it's actually almost over the bridge where Main Street is. So it's not a good situation, and some folks trying to get through the neighborhood now with the trucks. But I got to tell you, Steph, I truly have never witnessed this type of flooding before, to me, especially in a large metropolitan area. I feel like we see this kind of flooding maybe along like the Mississippi River, but it goes over numerous, small communities, say, along the Mississippi. But nothing like this where you've got, 6 million plus people and almost every single one of them is at risk.
Right. And the good news is, Mike, we haven't seen anyone really panic around here. Everyone seems to be doing exactly what they can be doing. I have seen some reports of perhaps alligators and animals. That's also going to be another issue with this. Have you witnessed any alligators or anything a little out of the ordinary going on this morning?
No, nothing like that necessarily. I've seen a lot of folks that have taken their pets and they'll put in. I think this is pretty smart. You know, if you have a crate for your dog or your cat, put them in that. This is going to be a traumatic event for them too, and that's an easier way for you to transport them and put them at higher ground with you. But I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any wildlife per se, Stephanie, that's been around. And
yeah.
Although now you make me a little nervous now when you're talking alligators, because you never know where those might come. And certainly those could pose a danger.
And Mike, you know, people are already taking action. Chris Young, he is a country superstar, of course. He is donating $100,000 to reliefs, and he started a GoFundMe. So I'm not sure if anyone has seen that yet. So already the support is starting to pour in. I put it on my Twitter, the link there, if anyone wants to donate. Because I feel like right now, Mike, a lot of people are at a loss. And you think, okay, it's going to be done in a day or two. I can send clothes or food or whatever. This might not be over. By the way, if the rain ends right, Mike, Thursday, Friday-ish, that doesn't mean the water's just going to go down. We're not in like a sandy soil situation.
No. No, the water may actually, let's just say, and it's just hard to forecast because we don't know. We're going in uncharted territory, really. If it rains for the next 3 days, let's just say worst case scenario, it rains all the way through Thursday, okay? We're talking 4 more days of rain. We know that all that water in the watershed has to drain somewhere. So it's going to drain into the drainage systems that we have, natural and man-made, but there can be a lag effect, especially for those that are at the tail end of the drainage system. That's where the water will get to you highest and last. So if the rain ends on a Thursday, you could conceivably see rivers rise, bayous rise for another week. That's not out of the realm of possibility, Steph. So this could go on for the highest of the water, could go on for another, 2 weeks maybe.
Right. I mean, just here at Buffalo Bayou, 500 square miles of a watershed. That means all the tributaries. That is 500 square miles of water draining into Buffalo Bayou. It's about 53 miles long. Actually heads in Mike's direction, goes down to the Gulf of Mexico and Galveston Bay. Mike, another information for people that do have AT&T. From August 26th today through September 1st, they're actually going to credit wireless customers that are in the impacted areas. And they've listed numerous counties here. So, you know, when people are trying to get rescued, you know, you don't want anyone, right now is not the time to worry about these types of things. So now's the time to do whatever you need to do in order to save your life.
Oh, absolutely. I think it becomes, what can I do to, and then after that, think about also, how do I save my life? Where do I go? And how can I sustain myself potentially for a couple of days? If I need to, and this would be worst case scenario, if I need to get to the roof of my home, okay, what do I take with me that if rescuers can't get to me and a helicopter can't pluck me off of my roof or a boat can't get to me for a day or two because they have so many people to rescue? Do you have some water? Do you have some food? Do you have a charged cell phone? Do you have something that you can flag down help? Can you spray paint your roof? Anything like that. Can you find something that's a flotation device? Something as simple as a cooler that you would take to the beach. Grab that, grab some duct tape, and you can attach yourself to the cooler, and that will float you for some time if, heaven forbid, water should take over your home.
Yeah. And Mike, speaking of the water, we're getting a little bit of a lull in the action. I want to go back to Carl Parker to talk more about that. Just because you're getting a lull doesn't mean that everything's okay, Carl. I mean, this water is rising at a significant clip where we are, you know, up an incline. It was going 2-3 feet. Again, it was going up an incline, but within an hour. So it's not a super slow rise, but it's not like we're seeing flash flooding right where we're located, though I know some people are seeing flash flooding.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to be, Steph. We're going to be looking at these sort of waves of heavier rain. We got a really big one overnight and early this morning with rainfall rates of 5 to 6 inches per hour in some of those bands. That is now backed off a little bit, but we've got a lot more rain to come in, so it's certainly not going to help as the water is trying to recede. And here you see there are some tornado warnings to tell you about. This is also one of the threats that we look for with tropical systems. And let's go and take a look at the one that is on the west side of the Houston Metro, now into Austin, Fort Bend, and Waller counties, coming up towards the Katy Freeway. There are actually several little circulations. There's one right in here, and there's some that are not quite as well defined. The one that looks the most dangerous is now near Weston Lakes. And there are, again, actually a couple of different areas that we're watching here. So as we'll take those forward, one of those coming up into Brookshire, probably at about 232, Pattison 238. Another one coming up just west of that, getting towards Pattison and Clemens. And then another area that's moving off to the northwest, coming towards Clemens as well. So you've got a whole series of circulations within that area. Another tornado warning here on the north side of the bay, that's Harris County. Not seeing a lot of rotation in this right now, so it looks like things are, at least for the time being, getting a little bit better. Then as we take you out into Louisiana, we've got a couple more tornado warnings here. One of those just south of Lafayette, and then another one off to the southeast of that, Lafayette, Vermilion parishes under warning, and then just east of that, another warning here in effect for Iberia Parish. Looking at the velocity data, we do see a little bit of circulation just to the southeast of New Iberia, and that'll be coming up at about 229. Much more on Harvey coming up in a moment.
I love you, a boasted land of peck. You bet your birdie neck I do.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others. Let others do for you. May you build
Long live the fearless, and long live the trucks that push you further. Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups.
Now get an average $11,468 in total values on the 2017 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab with a Hemi V8 engine.
We're making Oscar Mayer hot dogs better than ever, with no artificial preservatives in all of our meat, and no added nitrates or nitrites in every single one. So fire up the grill before summer's over, and finish summer strong with Oscar Mayer.
Do you tell yourself, today's the day, I'm gonna lose the weight, but nothing changes? Well, today's the day. Just call Nutrisystem.
I'm Brian, and I've lost 75 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Chris, and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guarantee.
I got to eat my favorite food. I got to eat, and I got to eat a lot.
Nutrisystem for Men is the real deal, with real food that gets real results. Order your 28-day program right now and get all new Nutri-Crush bars to crush cravings, free, and 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust that gut, free.
Nutrisystem just gave me my life back.
These guys are just like you. They made the call and they got the results. Lose weight, boost energy, improve your health with Nutrisystem for Men. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll throw in FedEx shipping, free. Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Make the call now.
Go online or call 877-357-DIET right now and get Nutrisystem for Men with bars and shakes free.
This may look like a garage, but on Saturday, man cave. But I wish it was easier to watch all my games at once. Whoa! I thought we agreed, honey. No parking in the man cave.
It's a garage, Nick.
It's all exhausty in here.
You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this, this, or this.
I can get rid of all 3 of these TVs?
You just need one TV.
Only Dish lets you pick any 4 channels to watch at once in HD. Sign up now and get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network included at no extra charge. Dish, tuned into you.
Well, here's to first dates. You look amazing.
And you look amazingly comfortable.
When your V-neck looks more like a U-neck, that's when you know it's half-washed. Add Downy to keep your collars from stretching. Unlike detergent alone, Downy conditions to smooth and strengthen fibers. So don't half-wash it. Downy, and it's done.
I'm proud of what the Weather Channel is. It's a place you can turn to and trust.
Our team's taking you into the storm with live reports and expertise you won't get anywhere else.
We are meteorologists, and that makes a tremendous difference.
When it comes to a weather situation that warrants attention, we're the place to go. It's that simple. Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 79. Winds light and variable. Tonight, some passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, a few clouds from time to time. High 82. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel. Welcome back to the situation here in Houston. A devastating flood underway, catastrophic, life-threatening, and the rain continues to pelt us here. We're south and west of downtown Houston, and Rosenberg has gotten hit hard along with most of the rest of the metro area. This is all rain from Harvey, and we've got another band coming in over us right now. Some of these bands will produce tornado warnings and actual tornadoes. But the big story here is on Farm to Market Road 762, and the road is gone. We've seen section after section go down over the past couple of hours, compromised by heavy rain, rushing water underneath the subsurface below the road. You can see the concrete barriers that were on this side to keep people from going into what is normally a more tranquil creek. They're down there, and we can take you back. We had our camera on the road for about an hour, and these sections kept coming down in pieces, and finally just one big chunk fell down, and that was basically about the entire right side of the road over here in Rosenberg. Now, there is a workaround. This is not that this isn't an important road, but it's not a major thoroughfare, and there are other roads to get around the mall here and also to get up onto a more important road, US 59. Meanwhile, nearby, the Brazos River expected to rise quickly from around 30 feet now up to about 54 feet. That's close to the all-time record crest, which was set just last June 2nd. Of 2016. So now there's a mandatory evacuation. They've extended it from last year because they learned a lot from last year. Some of these residents just finished remodeling their home from last year's flood. So they're heading out to higher ground and will likely be over there tomorrow. But again, a very tenuous situation as the Brazos River heads way, way up again. Let's head to Chris Bruin in Smithville, Texas. He's got more on the flooding situation in that part of the city.
Yeah, Mike. Again, we're in Smithville, about 2 hours to the west of Houston. And again, the rain's really been coming up. It's been relentless, y'all. And as far as the totals go, you know, it's really been since yesterday afternoon when we've seen about 16, 17 inches of rain. Now, earlier, this whole street behind me was flooded, and what the city has been doing is pumping the water out. We're going to walk over to my right, and you can see this pump. They've been pumping the water out to what used to be cotton fields, and then this eventually flows into the Colorado River, which flows just north of town. Now, the river is already at moderate flood stage and expected to crest tomorrow at 32 feet. So, again, what you're seeing is not even river flooding. This is just so much rain at such a short amount of time. The drains, there's a drain right over here to my left, they can't keep up with it. So that's what's been causing the flooding down this street. Now, the street's typical to flooding. It's flooded in the past, but not to this extent. In fact, most of the homes on this street to my left have water inside them. Now, the water has receded because of the pumping efforts, but again, this is an ongoing situation, and any more rain is only going to make matters worse here. We've seen over 17 inches of rain in the past 24 hours, and again, as you can see, it is not wanting to stop. And with Harvey expected to stick around Texas for quite some time, this is going to be something that, again, it's really our worst fears coming to life before our eyes. It's an ongoing situation. Now, we haven't seen the rain that Houston's been seeing, but again, here in Smithville, we're in between Austin and Houston, and it's really a story. Some of the highways have been closed, but again, we'll keep monitoring the situation. Schools here in Bastrop County have been closed. But Carl, I want to send things back over to you. Rainfall rates, again, picking up here to the east of Austin, but really, really ramping up there north of Houston.
Yeah, that's right. It's been going steadily for the entire day, and we saw rainfall rates as high as 5 to 6 inches per hour overnight and early this morning. It has let up a little bit, but of course the damage has been done. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Take a look at the tornado warning that has been reissued here. That's for Austin, Fort Bend, and Waller counties going until 3 p.m. We're actually seeing a whole series of little circulations coming up and across I-10 west of Brookshire and moving towards the northwest. So the leading edge of of that circulation coming up towards Burley and Grant School, but then the last of them moving more up towards the Katy Freeway just west of Brookshire, and that's getting towards Pattison and Clemens. Just be aware of the possibility of a tornado coming in there in the next few minutes. Now, looking at Houston, you've got a very elaborate series of creeks and bayous. These are all the different bayous in Houston, and these bayous all run into the Buffalo Bayou, and they drain the water out into the Trinity Bay and eventually into Galveston Bay. And they've got also a very elaborate system of gauges. This is the Harris County Flood Control District, and all of these gauges with the red along the bayous and along the creeks, every single one of these now in ongoing major flooding. So from downtown here, out along the Katy Freeway, West Loop here, 610 down near Meyerland. This is where Bray's Bayou is. South Loop and towards the old Astrodome there, down the Gulf Freeway, getting towards the Bay, North Loop as well. In all of these areas out along 290 towards Jersey Village, in all of these areas, you've got ongoing major flooding there in the Houston metro area. So that gives you an idea of just how widespread this problem is. And take a look at the hydrograph here. We're going out in time to the right and showing you the level of flooding. So this is Buffalo Bayou at Piney Point. So the latest observation, 62.66 feet. That's above the record of 61.2, on the way towards blowing away the record when it's going to get to 75.30 feet, most likely tomorrow. So it will far exceed the record well into major stage there in the Buffalo Bayou. As we look at White Oak Bayou in Houston, we see that also we've got a forecast crest of 4250. That is well into major stage. And so this is what we're seeing not only in the Houston metro, but at rivers and creeks all across southeast Texas along I-10 and then right down towards the coastal bend of Texas. A terrific, unbelievable amount of rain has come down in the last few days. All these areas in purple are where we've had 15 to 20 and as much as 30 inches in some spots. And there's so much more on the way. That is what's so troubling about this, because the low is not going to move very much, because it's still drawing moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, because the upper level environment is still helping to power the system. We're going to see more very heavy rain coming in through the metro through late tonight and early tomorrow. So this is the model forecast for just the next 18 hours of accumulated precipitation. We see a little bullseye there around the Sabine River, East Texas and also in Louisiana, but we also see widespread amounts of 5 to 8, especially on the north side of Houston, Harris County up into Montgomery County, getting towards the Woodlands and Conroe, and some pockets of 8 to 12 within that. So that's probably going to make things worse. At a minimum, it's going to slow the recession as we continue to see this heavy rain coming down. Also, very quickly, want to tell you about another area that we are watching. This is Invest 92L. Believe it or not, we've got another tropical system that we're keeping our eyes on. It's now being given a 70% chance of developing in the next 5 days, and that's likely going to be right along the Carolina coast there. So we look at the visible satellite picture, we see there is a spin. You see the little spin that's developing right there. It is definitely being sheared. All the higher clouds are moving off to the east of that. It will continue to be sheared, but it's going to work with an area of high pressure to the north to bring in very strong winds to the coastline, and that's going to increase the wave action there in the mid-Atlantic region, maybe up through the northeast as well. Beach erosion, coastal flooding, and rip current threat setting up here for the middle part of the week. We want to get back out to Mike Bettis in Dickinson. This is on the south side of the Houston metro along the Gulf Freeway. And Mike, I heard you say earlier that, and I know you've been on live shots for many, many years. I heard you say that you have never seen flooding like this in person.
No, never. And actually, we're on a big wrecker right now, and we're trying to get through to some people that need rescued. Those guys are doing a great job. They've rescued several people in their boat already. This is our situation. Look at the businesses that are underwater right now. This gentleman's got some folks that he's trying to get to at, I believe he said, the bank. So all we're trying to do is get to the bank, get some folks onto this wrecker. We can hold, I would probably put 50 people on this thing if we needed to, and then get them out. Man, this water is getting deep. This is about as deep as we've been since we've been on this thing. He gave us a ride in from Highway 3 where the water was only maybe about shin deep, but now it's getting really deep, and you can see, look how deep the water is. That pickup truck over there, the whole hood is underwater. Okay, so we're going up onto the curb now. Okay, so this makes, oh God.
Oh my God.
All right, so we're holding on here. He's going to try to take it up over the curb here, I think, and into the bank, because this water is getting high here, and we're going to get to he's trying to rescue some folks, and he's giving us a ride here so we get to where we need to get to, but we might be stuck. But we could walk in this water. This water is about waist deep or so. Let me ask him the situation here. Oh, maybe he just got to get up over the curb, I think, is all he's trying to do at this point. But you can see just how deep the water is. There's the Ziegler's Food over here. Look how deep the water is on these vehicles, unfortunately. And then you've got a little bit higher ground beyond that. But obviously we've got some serious problems going on here in Dickinson, where water rescues are happening as we speak. So please keep in mind, where you are, you need to shelter in place. If you feel like you're okay, then don't bother tying up the 911 system. That's not going to do you any good, or people that really need it any good. If you are in a life-threatening emergency, please do call 911. And so we're going to back up a little bit here. This is getting a little too high. I think he's decided now, rightfully so, that we should back out of this water. It's just way too high at this point. I don't think he's going to be able to get through. We're probably going to have to come through with a boat in order to rescue folks that need to be rescued down the way there. But even a gentleman back here, I think we're going to have to pick this gentleman up back here. He's in waist deep water. He said he was going to try to make it out, but I think at this point maybe we should just pick him up and get him out of this. He seems a little bewildered, and I'm not sure he knows exactly what to do here. So maybe we can get him out of the water here, at least up onto the back of the wrecker here, and then we can get back to a little bit shallower water. But there are certain parts of town where it sits a little bit lower than other parts of town, and so those are the places where people are needing rescued. Look at the car dealership here. Look at all the vehicles here that are underwater. The post office is taking on water. Look at the postal trucks here that are underwater. You want to get on?
You don't want to get on?
You want to get on?
Let's get away from the friend.
Where's your friend?
On the street.
It's that way? It's really deep back there. Are you sure you don't want to ride?
I parked my truck there. I wait for him, but he got the free key.
Well, you going to go back to your truck?
No, sir. I'm going to wait. I think
Are you sure?
That way, I don't know.
Okay. Be safe, please.
Yes, sir.
We can certainly give you a ride. All right, he's refusing a ride, but look, there's a swamp boat back there. They're heading into the neighborhood to get some folks out. Let me see what the situation is here with our wrecker driver and see what he says. What's our situation?
Back up and go up to the alleyway up here.
Okay. So he's going to back up out of this flood and go back up to the highway where the water's a little shallower and try to get in a different route to the folks that need to be rescued. But I truly have never seen anything like this before in my life, where just random people are getting calls from neighbors, friends, maybe even strangers that they don't know. And now it's a call to action at this point for the town of Dickinson and many communities around Houston at this point. And the danger is far from over. We think that this could go on for days. This may not get any better. This may get worse here in Dickinson. I can't imagine how it could get any worse. The folks have told us here that live here wasn't like this during Ike. Never been this high before. People that have lived here for decades, never seen water like this before. Just amazing. So we're going to back up here. We're getting back toward the main drag, which is Highway 3, and we're going to try to find a different route in to get to the folks that our driver here is trying to get to, because they're stranded. But you see the best mode of transportation right now is more likely boats than anything else. If you don't have a really high-profile vehicle, and I'm not talking just a pickup truck. I'm talking, we've seen big John Deere tractors roll through here. They're bringing in combines that have, these are combines that will harvest corn. So they have these high clearance combines that are like 8-foot clearance. and you can get in and you can get people out. Even saw some folks that had a John Deere tractor with a shovel on the front. They had their boat in it, and they were going to go pick up people in Dickinson at Highway 45. I mean, it's just amazing. My mind is just blown away by what you see, and I think we might be going now up Highway 3 now and trying a different route to get to these folks that need rescued. But I'm even a little worried that some of these trucks may not be able to get by this evening. But what a situation right now in Dickinson. I just cannot wrap my mind about what is happening right now in the Houston area. If Carl Parker is still with us. Carl, I hope you are and you can hear me, that Dickinson Bayou has come way out of its banks. I don't know if we have a river gauge along this or not, if we have any idea of how much the bayou has come up or not.
I don't have one right next to Dickinson, Mike, but I can tell you that not very far away from there in Webster, we got a report of 28.8 inches of rain. So some of the highest totals that we have seen in Harris County have been not very far away from that location. I can show you also here the Harris County creeks and bayous. This is a look at all the different bayous, and so they've got a very elaborate system of gauges along these creeks and bayous because these are what drain the city essentially. Every single one of these red dots is showing you where there is ongoing major flooding. So this is really remarkable when you think about it. This is extending from downtown Houston right in here and then out towards Memorial and then right out along the Katy Freeway, Southwest Freeway as well, down along the West Loop, down towards Meyerland, down on 288 into Pearland, down into the Gulf Freeway. You see all the red dots here. This is where Mike is, right at the bottom of your screen, right in this area, just a little bit below the banner there. And then up and along the bay, out up into the northern part of the metro there, out along the North Freeway, getting out towards Intercontinental. Just widespread areas of ongoing major flooding out along 290 as well. Just about the entire metro area now showing that we are in major flooding. So this is where we are right now. And the way that we got here was by the system that just did not move over the last couple of days. This is a radar loop showing you the last 18 hours. Look at the center of the circulation of this tropical storm, basically within that circle over 18 hours and bringing up tremendous amounts of heavy rain. And within those red areas there, you see the rainfall rates that have just been exceptionally high. Mike, back to you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, here you go. Carl, grabbing some kids. We got to rescue these folks. They've been taken out of the post office. They're going to take their kayak and go find some more folks. We're going to take them to the Walgreens. You have everything you need?
Yeah, man. We're just out here trying to help as many people as we can. We're pulling some elderly people out around the block and heard them yelling at us. So we
Any particular place we might be able to get to with this truck? That need people that need help?
Honestly, there are some people that were down the street right where y'all came from. Well, no, they're in the state. Okay. The house, yeah. And the house is pretty
okay.
Come here, I'm gonna jump the Walgreens and we're gonna come back over here.
Okay.
Try to get this truck so if anybody else is over here.
Okay. Very good. All right, so we're gonna take this family.
Good. Yeah,
we're gonna take this family to Walgreens and then we're gonna come back so we can get them to some safe ground. Everyone, you should sit down and hold on. But my goodness, you guys are okay?
Oh, yeah.
Where's your place?
Right on the other street, Holly Drive.
How much water did you take on?
About waist deep.
Waist deep?
Yeah.
My goodness.
So luckily we have a neighbor that has a house up on stilts.
House on stilts?
So I walked them over this morning.
Yeah.
And we've been there ever since, and finally we got a hold of somebody that can pick us up and take us out of here.
I'm glad you guys were able to get on. Water rescue's ongoing here in Dickinson. We'll be right back after this.
Who says eating on the run means eating like teenagers who kicked over a vending machine? Is that who we are? No, it isn't. Sabra Grab and Go. Hummus, pretzels, self-respect. Sabra, welcome to the unofficial meal.
Managing blood sugar is a series of smart choices. And when you replace one meal or snack a day with Glucerna, made with Carb Steady to help minimize blood sugar spikes, you can really feel it. Now with 30% less carbs and sugars. Glucerna.
For dry eye relief, doctors may recommend preservative-free drops, but single-dose vials can be a hassle. Try Clear Eyes Pure Relief, the first multi-dose bottle of preservative-free drops, thanks to its purifying filter. Try Clear Eyes Pure Relief.
As Harvey's path continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust. Taking you to the front lines, keeping you ahead of the storm. Experts breaking down the science behind the system.
It is a life-threatening situation.
Tracking every possible path.
The impacts here are going to be catastrophic.
Whether we're getting you through it or taking you to it, trust in the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 79. Winds light and variable. Tonight, some passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, a few clouds from time to time. High 82. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
Boston Market. Get a whole rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage.
I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to last.
So I kept on fighting.
I found something that worked and keeps on working.
Now, they see me.
See me.
See if Cosentyx could make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Never give up.
See me.
See me.
Clear skin can last.
Don't hold back. Ask your dermatologist if Cosentyx can help you find clear skin that lasts.
Men, after 40, you have a choice. Live with less drive and more fat, or get Ageless Male, the #1 best-selling testosterone booster, with over 4 million bottles sold. Ageless Male. More confidence, more libido, more testosterone.
It's fall. The geese are headed south, and it's time for you to hit the woods. The season is coming fast, so it's time to button things up, find where they hide, and pattern the deer you seek. Because this year, your hours in the blind will last for a lifetime. Cabela's Great Outdoor Days sale and events. Your one stop before the field. Save $70 on select Cabela's Masterbuilt Sportsman Elite Smokers. Shop in-store and online.
This Labor Day at Enterprise Car Sales. Experience great customer service and get more for your trade August 25th through September 5th. And let Enterprise Car Sales flip your thinking about buying your next vehicle.
Yeah, I'm just not having any luck dating.
Hello.
Then why don't you try eHarmony? We can find the perfect person for you. We've helped over 1 million people get married.
That sounds great.
Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-300-7112 or go to mesobook.com.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust in the Weather Channel.
Well, what a situation that we're seeing play out right now in Dickinson, Texas. If you were with us just a few minutes ago, Juan Ramirez and his family waiting for rescues. Got 3 small kids, including a baby and a little toddler there. We've been on this wrecker, and we've been trying to get to some folks, and we end up running into Juan's family and end up taking care of them. But your plan still to get some more people?
I got to go get some family members on Hughes Road.
All right.
And get them to high
You think you can get there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Tell me your name again. John. You're doing a great job. Just rescued that family on the back of his truck here. So what basically the situation is this. Water is all over in Dickinson. John has been kind enough to let, I'll hop up here, kind enough to let my photographer and myself hop on this high-profile truck with him, and basically he's going through town, he's picking people up, and literally he's trying to get to his family, but he hasn't been able to find a road that's shallow enough that he can get through to get to them. So in the meantime, he's actually picking up other people along the way. I mean, it's just something I've never seen before. We're seeing numerous people just evacuate to higher ground, wherever that may be. And even the places that are higher ground are taking on water. What we've seen come through, and this is Highway 3. For those of you that might be familiar with the area, really it's kind of the main road that'll come through Dickinson. It's all covered in water. And mostly the vehicles that have come through have been high-profile trucks, like this big wrecker, or like dump trucks, or well, that's one right there in the passenger seat. Him and his family are okay. Him and his wife and their 3 kids were waiting rescue over by the post office, and someone went in and got him with a kayak. He said the water is waist deep inside their house, and he's lived there his whole life. Never seen it like that before, but just glad that we were able to get to them and help out. Just you feel for them when you got the little kids and the baby just crying. It just breaks your heart for sure. But John, you good to go? How's the truck? Muffler slipped off. Gotcha. So he's kind of been spewing a lot of blue smoke with the muffler that came off, but still operable if you don't have the muffler. But a lot of this town is just totally submerged. It's a sight to behold, no question about it. We have had in many places around Houston over 20 inches of rain. What it's done so far, and we'll go ahead and take a seat because I think he's about to start the truck back up. And now to think that we have potentially another 20 inches to go. And could we double the water heights that we see here in Dickinson? It's very possible. Carl Parker, I know that when we talk, listen, we're scientists. We talk meteorology. We talk numbers. We look at radar. To see all that is one thing. To see it play out like this is another. You put the pictures to the radar. You put the pictures to the forecast. And I think it's exceeding all of our expectations, and really maybe even exceeding all of our fears, too.
Yeah, this is an event that is really beyond anything that any of us have experienced. Certainly, as we've been watching this for many, many years, we've never really had a forecast for 50 inches of rain from a system that started out as a Category 4 storm and just devastated the coastline and then just sat on the coast, and everything is still in place for the storm to produce very heavy rain for the next few days. There you see all the flash flood warnings. Each one of these green boxes is a current flash flood warning there across the Houston metro. And let's take a look at what's going on in the radar trends. We do, by the way, have a new reissue on the tornado warning, which is on the west side of the metro. So this is getting up into Austin and Waller counties. We've been looking at a number of circulations here. They're not real well defined on the radar picture, but you've just got a sort of a broader area of circulation right in there. And so certainly potential for a tornado. Along with that, one of the stronger ones now just off to the southeast of Belleville. So watch out there in Belleville as well as Kenny. And then you've got another circulation that is off to the southeast of that coming towards Burley and Grant School. But also taking a look at the radar trends, you notice that the northeast part of Harris County still getting hit very, very hard. You notice also that you've got some rain coming up and across Brazoria County and Fort Bend County and getting into Harris. The rainfall rates are a little less here, so we'll take anything we can get at this point. And then coming down into the southern part of the metro, this is about where Mike is, right in this position. You see it is not raining as much right now, but we think that there is a lot more on the way. Also, by the way, an ongoing tornado warning in Iberia, St. Martin parishes in parts of Louisiana. This is looking at all the gauges in Houston along the bayous and the creeks. Every single one of those red dots is showing you where we've got flooding. So that's from the North Loop, North Freeway, 290 out along the Katy Freeway, going down the Southwest Freeway, South Loop as well, all these areas, Gulf Freeway, and all of those spots, just about the entire metro, you've got ongoing major flooding on the creeks and the bayous right now. Buffalo Bayou, there's the forecast getting up to 68.20, and so that is well above the record of 61.2. All this being triggered by this spectacular amount of rain that has fallen in the last few days. And the unfortunate part of what is going to be happening going forward is that we're just not going to see a lot of motion on this storm, and so we will continue to see exceptionally heavy amounts of rain in a lot of the same areas. We can just hope that there are some breaks in that. We want to go out now to Mike Seidel. He's in Rosenberg. This is the southwest part of the Houston metro area, I guess the exurbs you could call it. And, you know, just unbelievable, Mike, to think that we could be talking about getting the same amount of rain that we've gotten already that put us in this position in the first place.
Yeah, it's unprecedented. And one of the many impacts of the roadways, we've had the flooded roadways that have been shut down. But how about this? Farm to Market Road 762 out here in Rosenberg, about a half an hour west side of the Houston area, and completely compromised. It took about an hour and a half or so for the entire road to just collapse. It started off with about a half of the lane here on the left side, and now it's all gone. The force of the water taking it out. Let me take you back. We had a camera trained on this from down at the creek side, and you can see some of the highlights, or we should say lowlights, of this road that was just washed away by the force of the water and the ground being saturated. And you can see sections coming down, and at one point just one big section on the other side of the road just collapsed, kaboom. And boy, what a noise it made out here in Rosenberg. So a long road ahead of us here as we go on through the next couple of weeks or so to get this shored back up. First, we got to get the rain to stop and the water to back off here in Rosenberg. The other issue nearby in Richmond, the Brazos River, expected to crest tomorrow night as almost as high or as high as it did 14 months ago in June of 2016. That was up around 54 feet. And imagine getting a crest that high again in less than a year and a half. So now they have a mandatory evacuation for many of those residences, those subdivisions around the Brazos River, issued by the city of Rosenberg. So a whole litany of problems across Metro Houston, the Upper Texas Gulf Coast, just a couple of those evacuations in this road that is gone here in Rosenberg. Let's go to Stephanie Abrams. She's been along the bayous throughout the day. What's the latest from where you are, Stephanie, as far as the flooding goes?
Well, Mike, the water just continues to rise. We are not seeing an extreme flash flood event where all of a sudden the water just comes rushing in, but a nice rise here, even on a little bit of an incline. It's going up, you know, 2 to 3 feet an hour is what it was earlier today. In fact, we have all 22 watersheds that are out of their banks. And we're getting in information that here, according to the National Weather Service, the Weather Prediction Center, that in Harris County Management, the water network here, has exceeded that of Tropical Storm Allison in about half the time. So we've seen just 2 to 3 days versus 5 days of tremendous flooding. So this is a Buffalo Bayou, and there's a sign back there to give you some perspective. Remember, a one-story house or one-story building is about 10 feet high. That's a good gauge to use. You see the sign is up there, 13 feet 11 inches, and it's just continuing to rise. It's also moving, and remember, 6 inches of swiftly moving water can knock you off your feet, and 2 feet of swiftly moving water can actually float and move a car. So that's good for everyone that's maybe out trying to do rescues, and or you see a lot of people coming down here to take pictures and see what's happening. Obviously urging everyone to stay in their homes if they can, and if you do need to evacuate, you go up. And if you have to go to your attic, you take an axe. The Coast Guard has been plucking people off their roofs. I tweeted the number for the Coast Guard for you just not too long ago. And we also are seeing the stars come out already and get help for the people of Houston here. Superstar country artist Chris Young has started a GoFundMe, and he's already donated $100,000. And we need the donations. I don't know if and when is a good time for them to start pouring in, because right now the event is not over. This is going to last for several days. Now, speaking of support, Mike Bettis has been live where they have been doing all types of rescues. Mike, what have you seen so far today in the forms of rescue? People just walking through the water, boat rescues. What have you seen?
Yeah. All the above, you name it. People are just trying to get to higher ground however they can. I mean, if it's waist deep water, maybe they can walk through that. If it's deeper than that, you've got to get a high-profile truck in there. You've got to get a boat in there. I mean, look at this. I mean, I'm blown away by every direction that you look here in Dickinson. There is water. It looks like mom and her kid here. I mean, this is just tragic. And then they pushed the boat. There's gentlemen in that boat right there. It was a little shallower down here toward the intersection. They couldn't get the prop in the water, so they had to actually walk the boat to deeper water before they could actually put the prop down in the water and then take the boat out and get to some people. But everyone we talk to says they've got somebody that needs help. You know, we were just on that wrecker, and he's trying to get to his family, and he's having to find multiple different routes to try to get there, because every route he tries to take is full of water. It's even too high for the wrecker, which has some pretty good clearance. Probably it could go into water that's chest deep, but some of it was just too much. And along the way, you find other people that need rescued, and so you can't pass them up. We picked up the Ramirez family over by the post office and brought them to safety. They had 3 little kids with them. How can you pass them up? You can't. They're even launching some boats. You know, you look back here. Everyone that has a boat, I think, is putting it in the water right now. They're getting ready to launch that one into the water. They'll probably walk that this way, I would suspect, and then get down into some of these neighborhoods that are a little bit closer to Dickinson Bayou. But cars have been stalled out here. You can see that truck, that red truck right there, is just crawling through this. What you don't want to do is create a big wake with your truck, and you get that water that comes up through the grill. You can get some water that comes into your air intake, and that's when your truck stalls. The moment you get water into your air intake, that's when you're done. And it's a lot of vehicles, sometimes you see they go through high water. They have a big snorkel, and so that's oh, look at that back there. Look at a shovel. They've rescued people on that shovel back there. They're literally on the tractor in the shovel. Or is that I can't tell if that's first responders or what, but oh, just amazing pictures here in Dickinson as water rescues continue.
You might take something for your heart, your joints, or your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you, your brain? With an ingredient originally found in jellyfish, Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide. Prevagen, the name to remember.
I'm only in my 60s. I've got a nice long life ahead, big plans. So when I found out Medicare doesn't pay all my medical expenses, I got a Medicare supplement insurance plan.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you may know it only covers about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. Call now and find out about an AARP Medicare supplement insurance plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare supplement insurance plans, it could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call now to request your free decision guide.
I've been with my doctor for 12 years. Now I know I'll be able to stick with them.
You'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks and virtually no referrals needed. See why millions of people have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP. Don't wait. Call now.
I'm your Venus.
The smoother the skin, the more comfortable you are in it. So find a Venus Smooth that contours to curves, flexes for comfort, and has a disposable made for you. Skin smoothing Venus razors.
As Harvey's path continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust, keeping you ahead of the storm. Experts tracking every possible path, whether we're getting you through it or taking you to it. Trust in the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, a few clouds from time to time. High 82. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 57. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust in the Weather Channel.
This may look like a garage, but on Saturday, man cave. But I wish it was easier to watch all my games at once. Whoa! I thought we agreed, honey. No parking in the man cave.
It's a garage, Nick.
It's all exhausty in here.
You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this, this, or this.
I can get rid of all three of these TVs?
You just need one TV.
Only Dish lets you pick any 4 channels to watch at once in HD. Sign up now and get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network included at no extra charge. Dish, tuned into you.
The average family's hectic home. It's raised 1 daredevil, 2 dynamic DIY duos, and an entrepreneur named Sharon. It's witnessed 31 crashes, 4 food fights, and the flood of '09. It's your paradise perfected with Behr Premium Plus low odor paint. The best you can buy starting under $25. Unbelievable quality, unbeatable prices. Only at the Home Depot.
Quaker breakfast flats are crafted with these delicious ingredients and more, and baked with our wholesome Quaker oats to help keep you going. Help satisfy your morning hunger with every single bite. Quaker breakfast flats.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Weather Channel's live coverage of an epic flood event that's overtaking the Houston-Galveston metro area. Mike Bettis, we're in Dickinson, Texas. A state of emergency for numerous counties across Texas, 50 in all, I believe, now. And look at Highway 3 here. People are just getting out any way they can. Down the road there, and I'm not sure you can see it, there's a red tractor, all right? It's got a big shovel on the front. And in that shovel are 4 police officers. All right, I want to roll some tape of them coming out of a staging location. 4 of them riding in that shovel. They are now in search of boats. They're looking for boats. That's all they're doing right now. They want to. So if you see a big Case IH tractor with 4 police officers in it, and you have a boat, wave them down. Make yourself noticeable. Basically what they want to do is commandeer boats right now and take people out of the water. This is how folks are getting around right now. There's some areas where the water's, walkable. You guys all right? Everyone's good? Thumbs up, good. But there are some places where the neighborhoods, the water is up to the first floor, up over the first floor, and people have come up to the second floor in some instances. If you can safely get out. If you think you have roadways that are passable, don't try driving in the water. But if you can get to a location where maybe you can be picked up and then taken to another location, that's great. If not, the best advice is to now shelter in place. All right, you guys doing all right? Okay. Shelter in place. If you can go to a higher level, do that. If you can get to a second story, do that. And make sure you have some water and some food with you. If you can make a cell phone call and you need rescued, you can do that. Call 911. But be prepared that it may be a while before they can get to you. The police are literally looking for boats right now to rescue people. They don't have enough equipment at this point to get to everybody. And I'm not sure they have in Dickinson enough manpower to get to everybody. So basically, it's citizen rescues that are taking place right now. We've seen numerous people just throw their boats in the water and go try to find people. There's a small boat right there. Are people that have high-profile trucks. They're trying to get through this water and get to the people. See, this vehicle right here is stalled. This white vehicle is stalled. You just can't get through this kind of water. You just cannot do it. Do not drive your vehicle through this water. I mean, I even look down here to our right. There's a pickup truck here, and there's going to come a point where he's going to be in some trouble, too, because the water ends up getting a little bit deeper when you go down the road here. So I imagine there's going to be a point in time where that truck is going to stall out. Take every precaution you can. This is a life-threatening situation. Flooding takes more lives than any other disaster in this country, and you need to take it seriously. Look at these pictures and let it be a reminder to you how important it is to, first of all, be selfish, okay? Be selfish. Think about your life. Leave all the material things behind, okay? Put something in a backpack, strap it to your back, and go. Okay? Look at the flooding that you see here in Dickinson. This will play out all over the Houston metro area. And this is just a snapshot of what is happening. Dickinson isn't even the place that's received the most rain. We've had a ton, but the more rain is now to come. It's just a very sobering experience that's happening right now in the Houston-Galveston metro. Look over my shoulder down there. Here come more boats with more people on them. They need help here. If you have a boat in the Dickinson area and assist, please come in. Please use your boat for your fellow mankind here and do them a favor. Get some people out of harm's way here. A continuing coverage of Harvey and its aftermath with the rain right after this.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for. Quaker breakfast flats are crafted with these delicious ingredients and more, and baked with our wholesome Quaker oats to help keep you going. Help satisfy your morning hunger with every single bite. Quaker breakfast flats.
I'm Chris, and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Listen up, guys. Want to shed a few pounds? Got a beer belly going on? Can't fit into your pants? Then you need Nutrisystem for men.
I'm Essex, and I lost 43 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Trevor, and I lost 60 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guarantee. Real guys, real results.
I'm Michael, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Put down the pie, pick up the phone, and get with the program today. Get 1 week of all new Crush bars free and 1 week of Turbo Shakes free.
The food was delicious.
If you're like me and you like to eat, this is what you get to do.
This is perfect for men, especially guys who don't want to cook.
So get off the couch, call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches in your first month.
It's not that hard. You eat the food, you lose the weight.
Go online or call 888-608-DIET to get Nutrisystem for Men with bars and shakes free.
Now at the Honda Summerbration sales event, you can get a great deal on a Honda Civic and keep things festive all summer long. Your unforgettable summer begins today with a trip to the Honda Summerbration sales event. The sun is setting on these amazing deals. Get a Honda Civic today from KBB.com's Best Value brand. Ends September 5th.
We received an emergency call. There had been a shooting.
2 counts of murder have been filed against Lyle and Eric Menendez.
Crime, the Menendez murders, Tuesdays this fall on NBC.
Hey, I'm Ty Pennington, and I've got a simple question for you. Are you paying too much for your mortgage? Well, you won't know for sure until you check with Guaranteed Rate. You can do it right now. It's that easy. With Guaranteed Rate's digital mortgage, you can choose from today's lowest rates, check your free credit scores, and even get approved online. Anytime, anywhere. All in just minutes, at no cost to you. Lowering your mortgage payment could save you thousands of dollars. Just take a few minutes right now to see how much you could save.
We were going to rent. That was the going-in plan, but the rate was so low at Guaranteed Rate that we ended up buying.
Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing your current home, get a low, low rate from Guaranteed Rate. Visit rate.com right now to find out how much you could save. Call 1-888-557-1555 or visit rate.com.
I wish we got snow days. But I guess we kind of the opposite.
Our job,
yeah.
I guess, to be here.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
We nailed it.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, mostly sun. Monday night, clear skies. Low 57. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And you are watching the Weather Channel's coverage of Harvey now becoming an epic flood disaster across the state of Texas. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis in Dickinson, Texas. This is a south side of Houston where the town now is underwater and ongoing rescues as we speak. Whether it be by high-profile vehicle or by boat, you can see that the town is literally swamped and underwater. And joining us right now on the phone is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. Obviously, you're watching this unfold as we watch it unfold. What is the state of Texas doing right now to respond?
Well, Mike, it is good to be with you. Yes, this is a horrifying natural disaster. The flooding we're seeing in Houston is unprecedented. It is devastating. It follows devastating damage we've seen up and down the Gulf Coast from Corpus Christi to Victoria to Rockport. A great many communities on the Gulf Coast are hurting, and as you know, Harvey is expected to stay here and continue to dump massive levels of rain, which is going to only exacerbate the flooding. State officials, local officials, federal officials are all concentrating primarily on rescues right now. Just in the city of Houston, there are over 2,000 high water rescues that are ongoing. There are a lot of people who are in distress that are seeing floodwaters rise. And so one of the things I've been working on for much of the day is trying to mobilize additional resources, additional boats, additional helicopters, high water trucks, so that we have the capacity to provide the help to those whose lives and families are being threatened right now.
Senator, have you been in contact with FEMA or even with the White House? What can be done? Can you get resources pulled in from neighboring states and get some folks here that need help?
Yeah, so I've spent much of the day speaking with the mayor here in Houston, the county judge in Houston, county judge in Galveston, in Brazoria, and asking, all right, what are the challenges? The number one challenge that the local officials are telling me is we need additional assets for high water rescues, that we have a substantial number deployed, but the need is even greater than the capacity. I just got off the phone 20 minutes ago with Governor Abbott, who the state has deployed 60 boats to the Houston area and 20 helicopters. They've sent about 500 DPS troopers to Houston and have mobilized a total of about 3,000 National Guards. I've had conversations today with FEMA leadership about mobilizing federal assets to get additional boats on the ground or on the water, additional trucks, additional helicopters. And then we're seeing from across the country, 10 different states have already provided resources. We're really seeing an outpouring of help. But this is an active crisis situation, and the need is unfortunately only going to continue to grow, because the projections are we may not even be halfway through the rainfall that is going to fall on this region.
Yeah, exactly right. And Senator, I want to ask you, in this, I know that the need is today, obviously, and the loss of life, we hope we can keep to a minimum by getting some resources here to rescue people. But then you think about people that may be out of their homes. Any discussion with the folks that you've talked to today about where you're going to put everybody? How do we house these folks that are displaced?
Absolutely, and that's one of the many challenges that we're facing. The mayor's opened up the George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston as an emergency relief center. The Red Cross is standing up facilities and providing. I've been talking with the leadership of the Red Cross to provide housing and homes. And one of the things that always happens in the face of a natural disaster is that you see Texans coming together and helping fellow Texans. It's something. We're a big enough state that tragically we see quite a bit of natural disasters across the state. And every time that, whether it's flooding or hurricanes or tornadoes or fires, what we see is Texans helping their neighbors. We see a lot of people that are going and staying with family or friends in different parts of the state. And we're also seeing in the Houston and Galveston areas, calls have come out to people, private citizens with flat-bottom boats. If you can assist in rescues, the local officials have called for that. And so we're seeing people doing exactly that. The Red Cross always does an amazing job. So for folks who are watching, who are not in Texas, who want to help out, I'd encourage you to go to the Red Cross website, sign up to volunteer, and assist and stand together. And then there's going to be, after the disaster is over, there's going to be the long process of rebuilding, as a great many families have lost their homes or their cars or their possessions. But right now the priority is preserving life and getting people out of life-threatening situations.
Mm-hmm. Senator, what does it tell you about the true resiliency in the heart of Texans when you see everyday folks come out with their boats or with their trucks just to help somebody they may not even know, to get them out of harm's way?
Well, it's inspirational. It reminds us that you know, at a time when there are issues in politics and other things that divide us, that there's a lot more that unites us, and it is powerful to see Texans coming together and see people across the country pitching in to help. I mean, that's really, as Americans, we stand together in times of crisis, and we saw that in September 11. We saw that, we've seen that over and over again in the wake of natural disasters, and we're seeing it now. And so I will say, Texans, we appreciate the prayers from people all across the country, and we appreciate the incredible outpouring of help and assistance we're seeing right now.
Senator, I have to say, very well put. Thank you so much for being with us here this afternoon in very, very difficult times. Thank you for the information, and best of luck to you here in Texas, because we know we have got a very long way to go from this point forward. Recapping what the senator told us is that he has spoken with the governor, spoken with other municipalities, and the biggest thing that they need right now are boats and helicopters and performing rescues. That is the need right now. And when you see, you know, what's going on here, you see the reason why. Flat-bottom boats, in particular, something that's shallow, that doesn't have a deep hull to it, that you can get through, you know, maybe waist-deep water or chest-deep water and not necessarily scrape bottom or wreck the prop. I believe we're going to go to a different location in the Houston area where we have some more flooding that's taking over right now. Is that correct?
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we're going to go to Smithville, and we're about 2 hours to the west of Houston, and we're still dealing with major flooding here. Now, I kind of want to paint the picture for you. The street behind me, this was flooded several hours ago, and really the water came up overnight and scared many of the folks. In fact, with the exception of a couple houses, most of the houses on this street have had water come into the first floor, especially the garages and their first floor. And the mayor here, you really talk about a town of about 4,000 people coming together. It is a very heartfelt community. Everyone's looking after one another, and people have been coming over, letting people stay with them if their house has been inundated, getting up in the wee hours of the morning when the bulk of the rain fell and helped move the furniture off of the ground so it could stay dry, get their animals intact, and just make sure everyone was safe, that had a hot shower, could stay dry, and really just be in a dry location. Now, also to our north is the Colorado River. It is expected to get into major flood stage overnight and into tomorrow. Now, the flooding that you're seeing here, this has nothing to do with the river. This is just what happens when it rains too much in a very short amount of time. We've seen nearly 20 inches of rain here in Smithville, and keep in mind, we are far away from Houston. This is a far-reaching storm, and it has impacts far and wide. The good news here, at least, to provide some sort of hope, is the pumps. The city has put out pumps, and they have been working. As you can see, the street is now visible, and most of the water has now been out of people's houses. But a lot of people, it was a very close call, and something we can only be thankful for. I talked to one of the neighbors here, and she said the water was literally as high as it's ever gotten, and a low spot like this in town typically floods, but not to this extent. They said houses that usually see ponding in their yard, they've never seen it get as high as it has been. Keep in mind, though, this storm is still going to stick around. And we're closer to the center of Tropical Storm Harvey, and you can still see we're dealing with tropical storm force winds here. So the flooding is an ongoing threat. Again, the water has gone down behind me, but it is still raining. It is still coming down, and there have been some evacuations here in Bastrop County. Keep in mind the schools are closed here tomorrow here for Bastrop County. But again, we're going to send things back to Stephanie and Houston. And Steph, again, the flooding, just a tragic, tragic story there. What is the latest at your location?
Well, we're right here on Buffalo Bayou, and we're by the Hobby Center for Performing Arts. They have taken on a little bit of water. We were just in there, and they just said on the back side, on the other side, it's not inundated, but they have taken on water. You see the highway behind us. Where we are, we're where the on-ramps are for I-45. Now, Buffalo Bayou at Shepherd Drive, which is just off to our west, that's the closest gauge I could find. It is sitting at 27.94 feet. That's minor flood stage. Can you believe this is minor flood stage, by the way? It is going to go to major flood stage as we head tonight into tomorrow, and it's going to stay there all the way until August 30th. So this is going to be in flood stage all the way through our Wednesday. That's how high the water is going to be. Right now, it looks like it'll top out at 33 feet. The record for Allison was 40.2 feet, and the record here is 49 feet. But we're going to stay for several days, we're talking 3 to 4 days, in major flood stage before it's going to go back down. Now, thankfully, it's going to drop off pretty quickly, but it's going to take a little bit of time. You see that this is, again, that on-ramp, 13 feet, 11 inches. That is how high the water is. Imagine cars drive under that, trucks drive under that. They have that sign because they don't want trucks to rip off the top of their vehicles. So 10 feet is about the height of a first-story building. So if that was a home, it would be inundated. And the water is rising, I would say, on the slower side here. It's not like we're seeing significant flash flooding where it completely catches you off guard. We are seeing a slow rise in the water here, and that's what we are going to continue to see here. The airports are closed. They're not expecting them to open until Wednesday. AT&T is going to credit customers here that have gone over their data and texting and whatnot, so you can get credit from AT&T as well. But I don't want people to think just because we're getting a little bit of light rain that it's over. This is going to be lasting for days and days and days, and we are basically at Allison numbers when it comes to rainfall. And it's happened in 2 to 3 days where Allison was over a 5-day period. And we're not even finished yet. We literally could see rain through Thursday. So this is just going to get worse. We are not, in the end, we're saying, okay, let's start to think about how we can recover from this. Right now, we are just getting into the thick of it here. So we are going to continue to see that moisture pumped in. The precipitable water, how much you can squeeze out of the atmosphere is on the high side. Our average for the entire year rainfall, 49.77 inches here in Houston, and we've already seen 2 feet. We've seen basically half that around the area, and we could get another 1 to 2 feet. So are we actually going to see a year's worth of rainfall in a week? It's possible. I can't rule it out. And we could see the most from a tropical entity in Texas ever. 1978 is a record from Amelia, 48 inches. We certainly could surpass that, I have no doubt. And if you look at flooding and the activities most people lose their lives in, it's from driving. 66% of fatalities in flooding occurs because of driving. We've already had 3 fatalities due to Harvey. So we don't want to lose any more people, and 2 of those were flood-related deaths. Millions upon millions of people have been affected by this. And then, Carl, it's not only the flooding, but though we just have a light breeze, it's the tornadoes that we have to continue to watch for here.
Yeah, exactly right. And there is a new tornado warning right now for Harris County, the west side of Harris County. This has been an ongoing threat. So you've got this massive rain that is coming up into the metro area, and now this tornado warning on the west side of Houston. Fort Bend, Harris, and Waller counties under warning right now. We were looking at a pretty tight circulation. It has loosened it just a little bit, but there is definitely a circulation showing up there near Mission Bend, right in that area. Let's take that off to the northwest, see where that's going to be headed next, coming right up towards the Katy Freeway. So that'll be getting into Barker, as well as the Texas Children's Hospital, that area, Sundown Elementary, and Lorraine Golbo Elementary as well. If you're anywhere near any of those landmarks, you want to take cover immediately. And looking at the radar picture more broadly, you see there's still an awful lot of rain, especially in northern parts of Harris County. It's starting to fill in a little bit more here, Fort Bend and southwestern parts of Harris County. And this is the kind of thing that's going to go on for a very long time, as Stephanie mentioned. Total amounts of rainfall, there you see in that purple color, 15, 18, 20 plus inches since Friday. And so all of the rain gauges around, or the stream flow gauges, I should say, around the Harris County area, all in major stage pretty much. There are some exceptions, but they're almost all in major stage right now. So this is the extent of the flooding that we're talking about across the Houston metro. Along the North Loop there, Beltway 8, 290, Katy Freeway, Southwest Freeway, 288 down the Gulf Freeway, and all of those spots, you've got exceptional flooding that is ongoing here, indicated by those gauges there. Now, looking at where we go from here, and here are live pictures of people that are being rescued right now. This is, I believe, down in Dickinson. And so this is the type of thing that we have been seeing over and over and over again, whether it's by trucks or other types of heavy machinery, certainly a lot of boats, people doing anything they can to get other people out of harm's way. A massive effort underway with rescue personnel, but also with civilians, people who just have the equipment or the know-how or the drive to be able to help other people out. So we've got a lot more rain on the way. That's what's most worrisome about this. And when we look at the satellite picture, you can see this spin in the atmosphere right now across parts of Texas that really is winding down very, very slowly. But in addition to that, a lot of the things that drove this in the first place are still there. Warm and humid air coming in from the Gulf, upper level support, and that's what's going to keep this system stronger right through the middle to end of this week. And here you see the radar picture going through tonight and early tomorrow. We still see these big bands of heavy rain coming right up into Houston. This particular model showing us a widespread area of 5+ inches of rain there in Houston just in the next 18 hours. And that's to say nothing of what happens beyond that point. And so as we go back out to Mike Bettis in Dickinson, Mike, we're talking about a situation where at a minimum that is going to slow the recession, and if the rainfall rates are high enough, then it may actually get worse in some parts of the Houston metro area.
And you kind of scratch your head and you wonder how it gets any worse than it already is, Carl. You know, in Dickinson, it's just alarming to see what's happening right now. And I look down Highway 3 here, and it's just a steady stream of pickup trucks and boats. And one after another going to find people to rescue, people that need the call. We actually had 4 police officers on a front end loader. They're literally sitting in the shovel and going down trying to find boats. They're just going to commandeer boats and try to help people and rescue people with the boats. The situation is unfolding. It's only just begun. It's likely to get worse than this. These pictures are stunning. But imagine what happens now with more rain in the forecast. A breaking news situation right now with Houston, Texas, and surrounding areas going underwater. We're back after this.
Current Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, mostly sunny skies. High 81. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday night, clear skies. Low 57. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Introducing Cologuard.
I'm here for an important reason. Colon cancer screening. If you're age 50 or older and at average risk, Cologuard finds cancer and precancer. And it's a non-invasive test you can use at home. In fact, I'm as easy as get, go, gone. How do you get me? Your doctor orders me, and I'm delivered directly to your doorstep. There's no need for time off or special prep because I use the DNA in your stool to find colon cancer. Then you just go. I mean, collect your sample. Then I'm gone. Just ship me to the lab. Gotta go.
Cologuard is intended for individuals at average risk for colon cancer. Cologuard is not for high-risk individuals, including those with a history of colon cancer or polyps, IBD, certain hereditary cancer syndromes, or family history of colon cancer. Cologuard, colon cancer screening that's as easy as get, go, gone. Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you.
Everyone has got a dream. You know what I mean?
Hey, is this our turn? Honey, our turn?
Yeah, we go left right here.
Great adventures are still out there. We'll find them in our Subaru Outback.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on all new 2017 Outbacks. Ends August 31st.
Tired of food sticking to the pan? You try to scrape it, and then you scratch it. You may as well trash it. Not anymore. Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Gotham Steel. The newest technology in non-stick cookware made with ceramic and super strong titanium. Stronger than ever before. It's literally like cooking on air. Everything slides right off. This pan makes cooking so easy. Check out this s'mores recipe. Start with chocolate chips, add sweetened condensed milk, marshmallows, and then bake. That's right, use Gotham Steel in the oven to up to 500 degrees. And then look, it slides right out. Delicious. And it's dishwasher safe. Watch, you'd never whisk eggs in a non-stick pan, right? Well, you can with my pan. Use metal and never make a scratch ever. No oil or butter, absolutely no sticking and no scratches. It's amazing. Plus, make flavorful flaky salmon and grill steaks to perfection. Look, burnt cheese is a frying pan disaster. Not with my pan. Shredded Parmesan, right on the heat. And here's a secret. Shape a bowl for a unique way to serve party dips. Even fire won't damage Gotham Steel. Make steak fajita flambe with ease. No burnt stuck on mess. Just a clean pan and flawless food every time.
Get your 9.5-inch Gotham Steel pan with new titanium ceramic surface for just $19.99. But wait, call now, and through this special TV offer, you can get a second Gotham Steel Ti-Cerama pan free. Just pay separate fee. And we're so sure it'll never stick and never scratch that we're giving you a huge 90-day money-back guarantee. No other pan will give you that. Call now to get your Gotham Steel pan with Ti-Cerama surface and a second pan free. A huge $80 value for $19.99. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-908-3351. That's 1-800-908-3351. Or order online at buygothamsteel.com. That's 1-800-908-3351.
Your brain is an amazing thing.
But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Let's dance, Grandma.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined.
Come on.
That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals for the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
And you are watching the Weather Channel's live coverage of the flooding happening in the Houston-Galveston metro area. We are in Dickinson, Texas. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis, and it is water everywhere you look. People being rescued every single minute because of the high water that's come up as the Dickinson Bayou has come out of its banks. And a lot of rainwater is causing the flooding as well. We're getting flash flooding and river flooding combining to create an epic disaster here on the south side of Houston. We've actually had some fine gentlemen here that performed some rescues themselves, joined by Steve, and Dave Fallon is here. Dave, what's it like out there? You've been through numerous neighborhoods.
It's just unbelievable. It's there's so many people that need help, and when you get to 45, you're dealing with currents coming up underneath there. There's people under the bridge. There's people on the other side. They're stranded. They have their dogs. They have their families. They have their kids. And we're getting requests for help everywhere we go. And we have to turn some people down because we have our boat full. They need more resources out here to help these people. And when this is all done, they're going to need food. They're going to need a place to stay. This is, I've never seen anything like what I've seen today.
How long have you been out here, Dave? How many people have you rescued?
We've rescued about 3 families.
About 3 families so far, yeah.
And then we actually came out here to save a colleague, and you know, we had to turn back a couple of times because we picked up a family of kids and a grandmother or something.
What's the need? If you get the word out right now to whoever may be watching, what's the need right now?
I would say that people need to start making sandwiches. Boaters need to start bringing fuel, auxiliary tanks. Bring your boats out here. I don't know if they're fire department or lifeguard or whatever, but they're passing by a bunch of people because they have people to save. So just help and pray for everybody here today.
Where are you headed next?
We're here to just save a pregnant lady and a couple of kids and some dogs.
We appreciate you stopping by. Know you wanted to tell the folks at home what's going on here. We'll let you go do your thing. He's got someone he's got to rescue. Dave, thank you so much. You guys are doing a great job. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are doing a heck of a job. This is the need. It's truly just neighbors helping neighbors at this point. If you have a boat that you can contribute, it doesn't matter what it is. If you've got a canoe, so be it. You can put somebody in that canoe and you can save them. But the need is desperate here in Dickinson as many communities go underway. It's not just Dickinson, it's many communities. Let's head to meteorologist Chris Bruin. He's in Smithville right now. And Chris, it's odd to see how this situation, how this flood unfolds everywhere you look around the Houston metro area.
Yeah, Mike, it is heartbreaking. I mean, you mentioned neighbor helping neighbor. That's exactly what we have seen here as well. We're in Smithville, about 2 hours from Houston, and as you can see, the winds are they're still howling. We're getting tropical storm force winds here throughout town, still causing some power outages. Schools are out here in Bastrop County for tomorrow. But again, keep in mind, flooding's been a big issue. The street behind me, it's gotten better. They're releasing water through this pump system. But earlier today, boy, was it quite a different story. That water that you see in the streets, that was in people's homes. Almost all the homes on this street were flooded, and some still dealing with water inside of them. This house, thankfully, was just spared. But houses that don't usually flood we're seeing water from Harvey just because of how much rain we have seen in such a short amount of time. But again, keep it right here to the latest of the Weather Channel. We've got more on the uncovering story here in Houston when we return.
Don't let dust and allergens get between you and life's beautiful moments. Switch to Flonase Allergy Relief. Flonase outperforms the #1 non-drowsy allergy pill. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Flonase helps block 6. Most allergy pills only block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. With more complete relief, you can enjoy every beautiful moment to the fullest. Flonase, 6 is greater than 1, changes everything.
Please get to the lowest level.
We have a charge. We have a responsibility.
We have live team coverage tracking.
To provide information to people to help them stay safe.
This weather is affecting people and their relatives across the country.
Our team's taking you into the storm with live reports and expertise you won't get anywhere else.
We are scientists, we are meteorologists, and that makes a tremendous difference.
When it comes to a weather situation that warrants attention, we're the place to go. It's that simple. Currently in our area, 81 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, mostly sunny skies. High 81. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday night, clear skies. Low 57. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
To feed your phenomenal, Lean Cuisine is changing. Over 20 dishes with no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. With ingredients like toasted coconut and juicy mango in our mango chicken. Feed your phenomenal with Lean Cuisine.
Quaker breakfast flats are crafted with these delicious ingredients and more, and baked with our wholesome Quaker oats to help keep you going. Help satisfy your morning hunger with every single bite. Quaker breakfast flats.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
I'm really into this car, but how do I know if I'm getting a good deal? I tell TrueCar my zip and which car I want, and TrueCar shows the range of prices people in my area actually paid for the same car, so I know if I'm getting a great price. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is TrueCar.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage.
I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to last.
So I kept on fighting.
I found something that worked and keeps on working.
Now, they see me.
See me.
See if Cosentyx could make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Never give up.
See me.
See me.
Clear skin can last.
Don't hold back. Ask your dermatologist if Cosentyx can help you find clear skin that lasts.
More dermatologists recommend Seidel for sensitive skin. Its pH-balanced formula cleanses gently for healthy skin. Women recommend Seidel because of how it makes them feel. Healthy skin is beautiful. Seidel.
Look, isn't that Frank Thomas?
Oh, the big hurt.
More like the big hunk.
Yeah.
Wow, Frank Thomas.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. You look like you could still be playing. That's what I said.
Well, I am feeling stronger and leaner.
So, Frank, what's your secret?
I discovered Nugenics.
I wish my husband did.
It's easy. Just in the text.
If you're a guy over 40, text 321321 and enter the word FAN to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenics is a unique man-boosting formula powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help boost your free testosterone levels, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more energy and drive, more passion, too.
Here, try a bottle. And trust me, she'll like it, too.
Text 321321 and enter FAN to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores, so text 321321 and enter FAN.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust in the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the flooding disaster in Houston and southeast Texas. We're going to have more on that in just a moment, but we have to tell you about a new system that we're watching along the southeast Atlantic coast. It's now a potential tropical cyclone. This is a new designation from the National Hurricane Center in anticipation of this storm becoming a tropical storm as it moves up and along the coast of the Carolinas. Here's the forecast track and intensities from the National Hurricane Center, looking for a low-grade tropical storm to be along the coast there in North and South Carolina through Tuesday. Then the storm working offshore at that point, starting to transition to a non-tropical system and then rapidly pulling away beyond that point. We do definitely see a circulation that has developed, a sort of a broad area of low pressure. Thunderstorms firing along with that. It's being sheared right now. And as we look at the advisories that are up, these are tropical storm watches from Myrtle Beach up across coastal North Carolina into the Sounds and into the Outer Banks as well, where there could be tropical storm force winds in 48 hours. And there you see the wind forecast Tuesday morning. It's not going to be just the tropical system, which is right here, but rather the combination of that and high pressure to the north that's going to bring in a very strong gradient wind into the coast. And along with that gradient wind, we'll be talking about elevated waves, beach erosion, along with some coastal flooding perhaps, and a rip current threat as well that's going to lift up and along the coast. So that's the next thing that we're watching. But of course, we're still watching Houston very carefully. Widespread flash flood warnings right now. There's also a tornado warning that is ongoing in western Harris County, as well as into parts of Fort Bend County. Seeing a little couplet here that is showing up now just north of the Katy Freeway. And so this is just also west of 6, right through there, taking that forward. That's going to move out and along 290. And so that's going to move up towards Walker Elementary School and the Sacro Grande Acroport as well. And looking more broadly at the Houston area, a lot more rain coming down. Just about every gauge along the bayous and creeks in Harris County now in major flooding. So you've got this ongoing flood concern and a lot more rain on the way. The position of the system does not change that much at all between tonight and early tomorrow. So much more in the way of heavy rain on the way. And Mike, we're talking about as much as 5 to 8 inches across a huge part of the Houston metro just in the next 18 hours, and then a lot more after that. And it's just hard to, as we've been saying all afternoon, it's hard to fathom getting more water than you've seen already, the worst that you've ever seen, yes?
It's just unimaginable. It really is. And I just don't know what we're going to do. We're going to get more water than we already have. I want to tell you what our situation is right now. We've hooked up with 2 gentlemen here, Lamar and Jason. They have their boat out. We're literally driving down Highway 517. And they're taking us over we're headed toward 45. Timber Drive and Deeks. Timber Drive and Deeks. And from what Lamar tells us, there water's up to roofs. People are on their roofs, 3 to 4 feet right here. And so they've been doing rescues throughout the morning and the afternoon, but this is the only way now you can get down through this stretch of road, because you can't get through here with the trucks anymore. You can see how high the water is here now. Even the big, there's a big wrecker right there. It's underwater. So boat is the only way you can get now through this area. They've done numerous rescues with their personal boat here throughout the day, and now we're seeing more and more people arrive with their boats, with the flat bottom boats, to get to some people here. It is just a tragic scene, and we're putting out the all call at this point for everyone that may have a boat, a flat bottom boat, something where you can not have a deep hull, so if you put some people on it, it doesn't bottom out. But we need boats, even if it's truly just a canoe. You can put 2 or 3 people on that. You're saving 2 or 3 people. Okay, Dickinson is truly in a state of emergency right now, as most of the town has gone underwater. We've got continuing coverage for you right here on the Weather Channel as we watch this developing and breaking situation in Southeast Texas.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, mostly sunny. Monday night, clear skies. Low 57. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Into the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams in downtown Houston, where Buffalo Bayou is out of its banks. And it's going to stay out of its banks, by the way, until Wednesday. I was just looking at the flood maps. We are going to be, actually, it's going to go higher than it currently is right now. We are at 27.87 feet. We're minor to moderate flood stage right around that. We are going to jump up as we head through the day tomorrow to major flood stage at 33 feet, and it's going to stay there all the way through our Wednesday time frame. It's going to take a while for this water to recede. That's the other story. This is not going up and coming down in one day. This is going to be a long-lasting event. Let's find out the latest on Harvey and also on potentially another tropical entity on the East Coast. We're going to go to Brian Norcross, who is back in the studio. Brian, how quickly is our system developing over around Florida?
Stephanie, this is off of Jacksonville, south of the Carolinas. It's not a big deal, but people in coastal South Carolina and North Carolina are going to have to watch it, and we'll get to that in a second. But first of all, on Harvey, here's the new advisory on Harvey, and it's still a 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm, and the National Hurricane Center is carrying it as a tropical storm for a good while here. And they've actually had tropical storm force winds up here, kind of northeast of the so-called center, drifting to the southeast of 2. So steady state here on the advisory. And here is the latest track. Now, this is with the center, and as we've seen, the heaviest rain is not necessarily with the center, but it's very hard to pin down exactly what this means. And for some reason, there it goes. Look at that. Look what they do with it. They take it down, and this is the model consensus, by the way. This isn't just one model. This is what the best information is, that the center is going to drift offshore and just kind of re-intensify itself a little bit. That doesn't make a big difference. It just means that it stops any weakening, and maybe it increases 5 miles an hour or something like that in terms of the maximum wind, but it just keeps more energy in the system as it's offshore, and then comes back up by Houston, and then finally on Friday it's moving on out and weakening. But we think this means horribly, just unimaginably, that really the rain in southeast Texas is going to continue for another few days. All right, so here's the radar right now. There is the center of circulation. It's near Victoria there. We have multiple bands, of course, in the Houston area and extending over into Louisiana. 2 big ones right now, one on the west side of town, up around Katy and where this very heavy rain has been, over around Rosenberg and the west side of the metro, and another heavy band on the east side. Now, it makes a lot of difference where the rain falls on how long the rain stays in the Bayou system. And the Bayou system is really a system of culverts in and around the Houston area. Let me just give you an idea. This isn't all of them. There are more. These are the big ones that they're actually turning into parks. So this I actually got from the Parks Board. But see, if it rains over here on this side of town, this water all runs through town in order to get out here into Galveston Bay. If it rains on the east side of town, that kind of goes more directly out that way in terms of these big bayous. Now, the Buffalo Bayou, here's the one that goes right through downtown and all the way over to the ship channel, the Houston Ship Channel. But then you have the Greens and the Hunting that feed into that. So these things all kind of feed into one another, and then there's more. You also have rivers, big rivers on both sides of town, the Brazos on the west and the San Jacinto on the right, and they will fill up. So rain that falls to the north of Houston will end up either in the Bayou system or in the river system moving south, and that can take weeks to go back into their banks. So multiple different types of flooding issues with the bayous, which are really kind of culverts made into parks to take some of the water, and then the river system is a separate flooding entity. All right, here's the bayou right by where Stephanie is there, and there you see tomorrow is the peak, but it lasts, as Stephanie says, up to 33 feet, where that's well above major flood stage in that area there, which is right by downtown Houston. Now, here's a model. Yesterday, this model pegged the incredible rain that fell in Houston overnight last night. Today, it doesn't look well initialized. Look, it has the rain on the west side of town, but it doesn't really have the rain on the east side of town. So when they don't start out right, we're a little suspicious of the future. But what the main point of this is that look at this tonight as we go to midnight. It brings that rain that's on the west side now right over the center of Houston, right over where Stephanie is tonight at midnight. If that's right, then it's just going to be another incredible night. And over on the right side here, the rain spreads to southeast Texas and into Louisiana, and this goes on and on. All right, we're going to talk more about the potential tropical cyclone that is off of Georgia and South Carolina coming up later in the program. But let's go out to Mike Bettis, who's in Dickinson, Texas, on the south side of town, where it's been incredible there all day. Mike.
All right, thank you very much for that, Brian. We've actually hopped a ride on a boat now. We are at Highway 517 in Yukon here. A couple of gentlemen that have a boat that have been doing water rescues all day long today. Jason Gutierrez with us. Tell us about what the situation has been so far today, what you've seen.
It's very devastating, man. We got people living on, got tents on their roofs, and it's just something I've never suspected to see. You know, it's like a reality movie you see on TV. It hurts, man. It makes you want to sit down and cry just looking at it.
You were able to actually rescue a lot of people today. You actually took a break just to get something the first time you've eaten in a long time. Where are we headed now?
We're going Yukon down to Dietz Road. That's where the majority of the heavy flooding is, where you got cars. People try to put their cars in the middle of the roadway to get it off the street, out of their yards, as you can see and stuff. And it's just, the water was too much for them.
How deep is some of this water?
Right now, looking about the mailbox, probably about anywhere from 5 to 6 feet in some areas. These roads, they're like hill country. They wind down, so you could tell by like the mailboxes, like it's high there, down that way, it's lower. It's crazy.
How many people would you estimate you've picked up?
So far, we've had 2,000 on a list as of 3 o'clock this morning. They were calling in and we couldn't get to them because of the rising water. Our trucks couldn't make it. The water was just so bad. You know, we just put them on a list. We made a old folks home earlier, and we've got them out. So,
right. Jason, thank you so much. Doing water rescues right now in Dickinson, Texas. We'll be right back.
I love kiwis. I've always had that issue with the seeds getting under my denture. Super Polygrip Free, it creates a seal of the dentures in my mouth.
Just a few dabs is clinically proven to seal out more food particles. Try Super Polygrip Free.
Managing blood sugar is a series of smart choices. And when you replace one meal or snack a day with Glucerna, made with Carb Steady to help minimize blood sugar spikes, you can really feel it. Now with 30% less carbs and sugars. Lucerne.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't